What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to Satisfactory. Glad you joined the Fix It crew. So, what we're going to do, if you guys haven't played this game before, or even if you have, we're going to do some tutorials. I'm going to do in depth breakdowns on everything. This game doesn't have much of a do this, do that guide, other than when you first start your game, you go through an onboarding process. Tells you how to set up your portable miners, get a few resources, build the hub, and then after that, you're on your own. So I know a lot of people that play, a lot of people that are struggling. They're always getting a hold of me. Hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? So this is what we're going to do. You're going to start a game. You have 4 starting areas, and it breaks each one down. Ideal for first-time pioneers, grass fields. Same thing for rocky desert. You go to the northern forest, it's good for more experienced pioneers. Or if you go to the dune desert, it's recommended for advanced pioneers, people that have been playing the game for a long time. They know the ins and outs and stuff like that. So we're going to start off in the grass fields. There's several decent little starting areas there. You're going to name your game. And then if you've already played before and you don't feel like going back through the onboard tutorial bit, you can go ahead and click this box and it'll skip all that and just start you fresh. If you haven't played it before, I recommend doing the onboarding. It's going to give you a nice little intro video, and then it's going to give you a small little tutorial on pretty much how to get started. I've got my settings set up, so we're going to go ahead and kick this off. And I'm starting from scratch just after the onboarding, so everything is going to be new to me just as it would be to you guys. So after onboarding, you start out basically in a field. It's already taught you, equip um, your Xeno Zapper. It's taught you how to search for resources and everything. Press and hold the V for Victor. Press and hold the V button. Then you can look for copper, iron, or limestone. Iron is your main resource that you need, so you're going to want to select it, release V, and it'll start popping up, as you can see up top on the navigation bar, your directions, give you your distances from them and all of that good bit. So typically you would want to find the one that's closest to you until you learn the map. Let's see. Or once you get the map figured out, you find your area that you're comfortable starting in.
Surviving does not count as a valid field test and does not generate enough data for Fix-It to make an informed decision. Store this potential resource for later use.
So it gives you a little breakdown when you pick stuff up just for the first time. It'll tell you this, that, and hold on to it or what have you. One thing I do like to do right off the rip is go into your settings, go into your controls, hold to sprint. I turn it off. So typically it'll be selected right from the start. Turn it off. It frees up your pinky finger. You don't have to hold shift while you're moving around. So that's number 1. We'll get back to the game here. You're going to start off slow, click your shift button, and just run from there. Okay, the next thing is whenever you come up to a bush, you press E, you pick it up. A lot of times you'll end up running around holding the E button, just snatching stuff up. A little quality of life hack for you. Come up to a bush, press and hold the E button. Okay, continue holding it after you press it. Press tab, it's going to open your menu, still holding the E button. Press tab again, it'll close your menu. Then you can let off of the E button and it'll just automatically pick stuff up. Okay, so once again, you'll come up to a bush, press and hold E, double click tab, let off of E, and it automatically picks things up. Now, the reason I showed you twice how to do that is because when you come up to berries or anything like that, it's not going to automatically pick them up. You have to press E. Well, when you do that, it's not going to continue picking up leaves. So you'll go back through the process. Press and hold, double tap, let off, and you're good to go. C is for crouch or slide if you're sprinting. Now, when you first start, you don't move around that fast. Another quality of life hack for you. While you're sprinting, press crouch and immediately followed by spacebar, and you'll get up a lot of speed. You can get around pretty daggone quick. So the only disadvantage is you cannot do it uphill. So like if you're trying to, well, there you go. Whenever you're trying to go up a hill, it's not going to do it. So if you let off and quickly hit C and spacebar going up a hill, it'll go back into it for you. But you're not going to be able to slide uphill. You'll just have to continue to quickly press C and spacebar. Now these guys, they're fluffy-tailed hogs. When they run at you, you pop them in the face and it'll stun them. Step to the side, hit them again, and they'll reset, sprint around, and line back up to stun again. Or to hit you again. It takes 4 pops with the Xeno Zapper and they're down. Again, I just fought that guy, so I have to go back through this process to automatically pick up foliage, which it's no big deal. It's 3 button presses and you're done. Alright, so we got some foliage. Our first step is to build the hub, or get rid of this guy. You don't necessarily have to chase them. It takes a lot longer to defeat them in that manner. I just wanted him out of the way. So first things first, build the hub. So you're going to press Q. Q is going to open your builder menu. There it is under special. First one is your hub. Alright. So you found your spot. This I've built here many times. I like this little area. It's convenient. You've got your iron nodes, or veins, excuse me, and they're normal. So there's 3 different types of veins. There's impure, normal, and pure. And you're going to get different amounts of ore out of the 3 different types of veins. So impure is going to be the first one. It's going to give you 15 ore a minute. Okay. Or no, I'm sorry, 30, excuse me. Impure will give you 30 ore a minute. Normal will give you 60. Pure will give you 120. And that's with your starting your miner Mark 1. Okay. Once you upgrade enough in the game, you get the Mark 2, Mark 3. Obviously, those numbers are going to change. Alright, so first thing, we're going to build the hub. We found our starting area. Now, a couple little tricks for you. So right here, you can see it's raised up. Alright. The only way to get it flush on the ground is to come further back away, but I don't want to take up a lot of space. It's clipping in the rocks, no big deal. I can get to where I need to get to. So what I'm going to do is press H. Okay, that's going to hold it. So no matter how much I move, that's going to stay where it's at. Alright. But I still want it down on the ground. So from there, I'm going to press page down. And all the breakdown is right here on the bottom of your screen. Well, I can't mouse to it, but you can see where it says build, nudge, vertical nudge, all that. It's going to tell you how to go up and down, left and right, forward and backwards. Okay. So page down once. I'm going to page down again. I like to sink it in the ground, just one little bump, so I don't have to jump to get on it. I've got it where I want it. Click the left mouse button, and it's built. Alright, see, I can still access storage, the hub, the crafting bench. We're good to go, and I don't have to jump to get in. Just quality of life. Get a couple more of these set up, or picked up, excuse me. Alright, moving on. Come over to the hub. We're in tier 1 and 2. We're going to start out first thing. You got in tier 1, you've got your 3 basics that you're going to start with. Base building gives you your flooring and walls and whatnot. Logistics, splitters, risers, and then field research, MAM, which is your research center, and a couple other things. The very first one I like to start with is logistics, because you're going to need the splitter and the merger. The lifter, not right off the rip unless you decide to build up straight from the start, but that's your choice. So we'll go select milestone, close that out. It tells me I need 150 plate, bar, and 300 wire. All right, come over here. We'll clear this off. And if you skip the onboarding process, it should start you with 4 of your portable miners, which you need a portable miner to build the miner itself. We got it cleared off. We're going to press Q to open our build menu, go down to production, miner mark 1, and get it set. Okay, I like to face it, pointing out where I can have a lot of room to build. All right. So we got the miner set up. Now we need to be able to power it. How do we get power? We build biomass burners. All right. Once again, press Q, down to power, biomass burner. Now I'm going to show you another quality of life that's going to help you feed however many of these you decide to build, but from only one feeding point. So we'll go ahead, we're going to figure out a good little spot to set it up. I don't like the rocks, but we're going to deal with that later on. Put 1. I don't have enough to build a second one. That's okay. I don't have a splitter. That's okay either. Now from here, you're going to need something to make your biomass. Okay. You can burn leaves. You can absolutely 100% put leaves in there, but the fuel rate is very, very minimal. It burns 15 mj. Okay. That's megajoules, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. But either way, it burns out really, really quick. So what I like to do straight from the start is I'll build a constructor. Okay. We're going to set the constructor back here. Doesn't have to be pretty, but just make sure that you can put a conveyor belt. So we're going to go from the constructor. Okay. Let me step back a second. On your little start bar or your little task bar, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 1 is your power pole. Number 2 is a power line. Number 3 is a conveyor. Number 4 is a conveyor pole is what they call it. All right, so number 3 for the conveyor belt. Another little thing here for you. You can either press and hold R, okay, and it'll give you 3 different options on how to run the belt, or you can quick press R and it'll cycle through them. Now, I'm OCD. I like my stuff to be nice and neat and straight, so always put it on straight. Click it on your biomass burner. Done deal. Okay. We'll come back here, press Q again. We'll go down to organization, build a storage container. All right. Make sure your arrows are lined up the right way. Press Control. Okay. And what it's going to do, what it should do, there it is. When it's lined up, it's going to give you that blinking line that tells you your container exit is perfectly in line with your constructor entrance. Okay. Press and hold Control. There's a little height difference, so I'm going to back up a little bit. Run a conveyor belt from the container to the constructor. All right, there we go. I'm going to open up the storage. If I had several stacks, I'll show you real quick. We'll go get some more, because this is another quality of life deal for you. You can pick up foliage while midair. So don't worry about if you're sliding and jumping, getting around with a quickness. Don't worry about if you jump over something. Just make sure your little crosshair, your reticle in the middle of the screen is looking down at the foliage and it'll snatch it up. All right, we have 2 stacks, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to go down to the storage container. Now, you can either shift and drag, okay, which takes forever. You can shift click for a single stack, or you can control click and it'll take whatever you're clicking on, for example, the leaves, and move not only that stack, but every single stack of leaves you have. So if you have 5, 6, 7, 8 stacks of leaves and you don't want to shift click that many times, control click and it'll move them all together. All right, nice and easy. We're built for speed, not perfection. All right, so we have the biomass set up. Okay, we're gonna set a power pole here. And I'm gonna put a power pole here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run a power line from the burner to the pole, from the pole to the constructor. Now, when this biomass burner fires off, we're gonna be giving power to the constructor, which is gonna be creating biomass, continuously feeding the biomass burner. Okay, from here to the other pole. Your Mark 1 power poles, you see 1 of 4. You only have 4 slots. You can only collect 4 wires to it. So just keep that in mind if you start setting up a bunch of equipment. From the pole to the miner. Alright. Well, you're probably thinking, why is it not firing off? You've got leaves in there. You got your constructor. You got the burner. You have to come to your constructor, press E. Okay, that's going to open up your recipe menu. We put leaves in the storage container, so we need to select biomass leaves. Okay, well now what? We still don't have power. No problem. What you're going to do is you're going to go collect a little bit more biomass, or excuse me, leaves. Okay. So we got 20 leaves. I'm going to show you it's not that big of a deal. You're going to come to your crafting bench. You're going to scroll down biomass leaves. Okay. Another quality of life hack for you. You can either press and hold the left mouse button, or you can quick press spacebar and it will continue until you are out of materials. We also have wood in our inventory, so we're going to go ahead and make some more biomass. Quick press spacebar, let it do its thing. So if you want to grab a drink, scratch an itch, what have you, out of materials, done deal. All right. Come back over to the biomass burner. They come in stacks of 200, which I'm 50 shy. No big deal. Press E on the burner. Shift click the fuel in there. We're off and running. Leaves are going in. Biomass will be produced. It will be fed to the bio burner. That's that. Now, keep in mind though, you do need to keep an eye on your inventory in here because you will run out. Even though you're turning leaves into biomass, it has 180 MJ, but it still burns fairly quick. Okay, and I'll show you. Come over here, press E. This is your burning fuel. So it's burning down at a pretty decent rate. And you can see we're filling up. Once it hits 200, it'll stop. And your biomass will start backing up on here, which is good. You would rather have your conveyor belts backed up with biomass than them to be empty and you're running out of fuel. Alright, so that's power. Please forgive the music in the hub. They got some little party going on in here. What is going on? Come in here, break a pinata. Anyway, alright. So we got our miner set up. The miner's going. We need to start constructing materials. Alright, 60 per minute. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and get some stuff built out for it. I'm going to show you why that number is important. So, once the ore comes out, it has to be smelted. Okay, it has to be smelted into iron ingots. Once again, pressing control. Use your mouse wheel to rotate your piece of equipment. Once it's lined up, you'll get your hash line. Okay? Because there is a height difference, you want to step away just a bit. Otherwise, you'll have conveyor belt issues. Bring up your conveyor belt, run it from your miner to your furnace, or smelter, excuse me. Come over to the smelter. Once you close your builder, press E on the smelter, select iron ingots because we're extracting iron ore. Alright, got that done. After your furnace, you're going to want to put a constructor. And all this stuff is explained if you do the onboarding process. If you just jump straight in, this video is definitely for you. Excuse my defective mouse. Once again, control, get it lined up, set it, get out of there, run your conveyor belt. All right, first thing I'm going to set up, press E, I'm going to select iron plates. Okay, now here's where the numbers come into play. Your miner is producing 60 ore a minute. Your smelter intake will only take 30 ore a minute and produce 30 ingots a minute. So already you're going to be overloading your smelter. Right from the start, no big deal. Okay. Come over to your constructor, we're making plate. Your plate takes 30 ingots a minute and produces 20 plate per minute. Okay. Once you start building your assembly lines, this is where it becomes a number game. All right, now that's set up. We need a storage container for the plates to go into. Get our little hash line, excuse me. Set our conveyor belt. Done deal. Next thing we need to do is run power. Set a power pole. Run your power line. Now, there's two ways you can do this, okay? You've seen me set the power pole first and then run the power line. What you can also do is click number 2, select your power line, go from a pole, and it will automatically set a line for you, which in essence is faster. Then you'll run a power line from your smelter, power line from your constructor, and we are in business. You're probably thinking, well, why do I need to build a whole crap ton of burners if one burner is going to run everything? Something else you need to bear in mind. A single biomass burner produces 30 megawatts, okay? Now, one way to see what's going on, how much power you're using, you can either come to the biomass burner and you'll have this little chart, or you can go to a power pole and you'll have the same chart, okay? So right now we're consuming 13.1 megawatts. Our capacity is 30 megawatts. So I just told you, biomass burners produce 30 megawatts. You need to keep a close eye on your consumption and your capacity. What I like to do for general purpose is try to keep my max consumption below my capacity. You will have surges in power. It does happen. Not often will it blow a fuse, but it can. So that's why I try to keep my max below my production. All right, so we got plates rolling in. We need bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to mimic this setup, but with a different recipe. So we'll get this going. We're going to build another miner. Now, instead of having to open your build menu every single time, which gets kind of monotonous, once you have an assembly line set up, if you go to what you want to build next and click your mouse wheel, it will copy whatever you are selected over. Just right click to get out if you click the wrong thing. But if I wanted to put a smelter and I accidentally clicked the constructor, just mouse over the smelter, middle mouse wheel click, and there we go. So we're missing 2 wires. Well, we need to find copper. Press and hold V, select copper, let off of V, boom, 179 meters away. Let's go. And we do need to get another assembly line set up over here because we do need to make wire spools. Take care of the local wildlife. Get us some copper. Now, one thing I like to do instead of running back to the hub every time, if you have the materials, open your building menu, go to special, pull up a crafting bench, drop it right next to you, press E, and anything that can be done by hand is right there, same as a crafting bench and the hub. So we need wire, which means we need to make copper ingots. Hit the space bar and let it do its thing. All right, we'll go ahead and stop that. We'll come down to wire. They make 2 apiece. Stop at 20, press E to close, and then I'll take this away to get the materials back. So if you build something, okay, the crafting bench takes 3 plate, 3 bar. All right, so that's 3 plate, 3 bar less in my menu, or in my inventory. When I deconstruct this, I get back 3 plate and 3 bars. So you do not lose any material when you dismantle stuff. It all goes straight back into your inventory. So we're going to hop down here. Mouse wheel click the smelter, control to get it lined up. Get our hash line. It's being kind of difficult, so we'll press H. We'll step it away just a smidge, and we'll left click to get it built. Get us a belt going to it. We need a constructor. Same thing. Don't worry about clipping. Your conveyor belts will go through the rocks and ground, and your product will not get stuck. It'll continue rolling on the conveyor belt. And we need a storage. All right. Start from the front. Okay, so here's another thing. When you copy an item, it will copy the recipe and everything that's in it. All right, so the smelter's already set up for iron ingots. The constructor is already set up for plate, but we need to make bar. So we'll click the select recipe, select bar, done deal. Now, here's where numbers come in. We know this produces 60 ore a minute. We know the smelter runs 30 in, 30 out, but the bar runs 15 in, 15 out. So we're going to be clogging up the constructor. And then the bar is going to go straight to the storage. Once again, we'll set up a power pole here. Use our last slot on that one. Put one here. Power up this mamma jamma. Drop one right here in the middle. Power those up, and we're off to the races. Now, while that takes off, before we leave, we're going to double check. Consumption 18.3, max consumption is 30. Okay, so our max is meeting our output. We need 25 wire, 15 bar. We have, that's copper, we have 47 iron ore. See, we need bar for that as well. We'll come over to the crafting bench, space bar, and walk away. It does take a minute. It is kind of finicky getting these plates done, or slow, excuse me. But it's always good in the beginning to have some ingots in your inventory because you never know what you're going to run into. When that's done, we'll drop down to copper, knock out those 13, and then we'll set up some wire, which already have the ingots for the wire. But we'll do the wire, we'll do the rods. Now, if you're like, oh man, I don't know how much I need, I don't want to make too much because I could use that for something else, open your build menu. We're doing a biomass burner, so come down to power. You see this little plus sign here? If you click on it, it'll add it to your to-do list. Close this out. Now that tells me I need 15 rod, 25 wire, and I already have the plate. Sweet. So now I don't have to sit here and guess. So the rod, build that up till it's 15. Boom. wire, build that up till it's 25. Boom, done deal. All right, we're off to the races once again. Mouse wheel click. We don't yet have the splitter, so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get this one ready to rock and roll. Now, max consumption will not always blow a fuse if it goes over your surge. I mean, 300 wire. It's just a general rule of thumb I like to follow. You know, better safe than sorry. So now what we need to do is come up here. We'll get enough iron, or copper to make some wire. We're going to go ahead and get the stuff we need made so we can complete our logistics milestone, get our splitters set up, and then drive on from there. And I'll save you the boring bits of sitting here manually mining everything. Oh, actually, stop it. We have portable miners in our inventory. This makes it gooder. So you can put that in your hands, scroll on your mouse wheel, drop it and walk away. It does not need power to operate, and it holds 100 in its inventory. And it mines fairly quickly. Now, the portable miners, they don't follow the output that the big miners do. Even though we're on a normal vein, a Mark 1 miner would give us 60 a minute. The portable miner is only putting us at 40 a minute. No big deal. Set it and forget it. Go click some more, or collect some more leaves for your biomass burners. Come back every so often, check your portable miner, grab your product, and take off again. Now, one thing I will tell you, if your portable miners are in your hand, you will not be able to build a miner. The portable miners have to be in your inventory for it to register that you do have portable miners. It's kind of dumb if you ask me, but I get it. No big deal. But just be wary if you have portable miners in your hand and you're trying to build a miner and it's telling you you need portable miners, that's why they're in your hands and not in your inventory. Come over here and get some sulfur.
Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate fix-it helmets are of such high quality. Store this potential resource for later use.
Shoot back over here, check on our portable miner. Go ahead and take what he's got, and that should be, I think you need 150 to make 300 wire. So 150 ore to make 300 wire. These power slugs, you can't use them right in the beginning, but make sure you collect them anyway, because it will get to a point when you learn overclocking and underclocking that you will be using them.
This semi-slug species seems to persist entirely through absorbing and storing energy from its surroundings. Studying this could provide new methods for improving fix-it production line efficiency. Store this potential resource for later use.
These crash sites like this, always good for materials, man. Plus, these containers, the drop pods, they have the little chip inside of them, the hard drive, that you'll scan And the MAM, and it'll give you uh, alternate recipes for things. Alternate recipes are freaking amazing because they save you resources, and it just makes stuff all around easier to build. Now, if there's a hard drive in these containers, you will not be able to disassemble them. Walk up to it, press E. It needs 40 megawatts, so I would have to build 2 biomass burners or run a power line over here to charge this up to be able to open this door. Okay, no big deal. We'll come back and get that. We can't use the hard drive right now anyway because we don't have the MAM built. But I recommend going out of your way to find all the crash sites. It will benefit you highly in the long run. Let's see. Go ahead and pick this guy up. Now, with him running, you can see I picked up 1 portable miner and copper ore. You don't have to clear the inventory of the portable miner before you pick it up. You pick it up, just like when you disassemble something. You get the materials you spent to build it plus whatever materials are inside of it. So if I disassemble this, I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to get 132 bar. Okay, that's including what's in here, plus what it took to build, and 10 plate. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you go on a mass disassemble spree because you want to rebuild everything, realign everything, or make things pretty, keep that in mind as far as what you have in your inventory, how much room. Okay, so let's see. We need a copper wire. Again, I'll spare you the boring bits, but we'll get the copper wire made up and then we'll continue on from there. All right, ladies and gents, we have our wire made. Let's go see if we have enough plate and bar. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Now, to split the stacks, just right click on them. Does it even split? 100, 100. Click it again. 50. Ooh. Don't throw it on the ground like I did. You need those. All right. So 150, 150. That's what we need. I'm going to throw those back in there so I don't lose them. Plates. This, you really don't have to do this. I do just because. Put those in there so I don't lose them. Real quick, we'll go ahead and throw these leaves in our container because we're running out. Luckily, we're backed up here, so it's not a problem. We got 150 bar and plate and 300 wire. We'll come over to the hub. We'll shift click. Roll on. What I like to do with the stuff that I can't use yet is I'll go ahead and stick it in the container here.
Can now merge, split, and lift to save space and enhance the productivity of your factory. Fix-It encourages you to consider investing in verticality when it comes to factory logistics. If you feel stressed by this complexity, imagine yourself on the shore of a vast and calm ocean. Breathe in. Visualize all the people relying on you. The sea is made of billions of faces, each staring at you with hope and tears in their eyes. Breathe out. Feel refreshed and focused on your duties.
She's kind of snotty in some of her remarks, man. I'm not too big of a fan of her. But anyway, next options, base building and field research. Now, 50-50, one or the other. I like to go base building so I can get the foundations, and I'll show you why when we finish this milestone. So we need concrete. All right, we'll come up here to the limestone. Okay, here we go. Impure. Those are normal. This one's impure, and I'll show you the difference with the miner. Get this large rock out of the way. Open our build menu, production, miner. What are we missing? Tin plate. All right, no big deal. Shoot down here, get some plate. Run it off this way. Now with the limestone, since it's a rock, not an ore, you don't need a smelter. It'll go straight from the miner to the constructor. But this is what I was telling you about. Press E, you see 30 a minute. Okay, that's the difference between impure and normal. 30 a minute, 60 a minute. Again, you'll understand later on, this is a huge numbers game. Press control, get it lined up, drop a conveyor belt, mouse wheel click that. We need bar. Run over here, get some bar real quick. Drop that here. Get the conveyor belt running nice and straight. Boom. Alright. Bring a power pole over here to run these two. Come over here, open our recipe menu, click concrete, and we're off to the races. Now, you're 45 in, 15 out. Oh, perfect. This is what I had hoped would happen. Okay. Our consumption has exceeded our capacity. And it just so happens that we unlocked the splitter. So we're going to go ahead and dismember this, or disassemble, excuse me, logistics, splitter. Okay. Now you see the arrows, you got 3 outs and 1 in. Okay. When you line these up, make sure that you have them facing the correct direction. So that's sitting beautifully between the two. Conveyor belt to here, here, here. Now, since there is biomass already in here, the conveyor belts will always run. It's pumping out the biomass that was stored in the constructor, which is perfect because now they're getting fed without having to have any power. We have no spots, no spots, no spots. We have a spot. Sweet. This is where the spaghetti comes in. So what I'm going to do, since we're out of power, take that down, put one here, because I like to keep things neat. Put another one here. I don't know why I did that. Run your lines. Run the lines. Always make sure when you set up your biomass burners that they're all tied into the same power grid. Because if you have this one on its own power grid, you're going to be blowing fuses left and right. So make sure they're all tied into the same power grid. We got fuel in here. Sweet. Throw the breaker. Good to go. Consumption 21.4. Capacity. Why is that not updated? Bear with me. No, it has updated. I'm sorry. We're at 60. We have 2 biomass burners. We're at 60. Consumption, there it is, 39. So you see, that was a peak. So our max consumption is 39. Our average is 26.3. So that's why we blew a fuse. All right. Got our concrete being made. Got our fuel going where it needs to go. What I'll do here is dump off the rest of that. Now, since we have splitters and mergers, get rid of this. We're gonna make 2 more of these, 2 more constructors. So before we do that, we need a merger under logistics. Make sure our arrows are facing the right way. We got our hash line. Now, okay, perfect example. So if your conveyor belt is red, cycle through the different positions with the R button until it turns blue, and it'll line up. Even though you have your hash line, it's not always perfectly in line. That's where building a foundation is going to come into play, but we'll get to that. So we have our merger. Now we're going to build 2 constructors. I told you I'm OCD. I like everything nice and lined up. So we'll build one there. Oh. Alright, we got our lines showing that our 2 constructors are perfectly in line. We're going to hold that. We're going to bring this out just a scotch. Conveyor belt. Straight. Straight. Alright, so this is going to be a little tight fit. So what we're going to do... all of this will be hashed out when we start doing our foundation and everything gets a little prettier. We're going to put one there and one on top. Alright, we're going to run a conveyor once we get some more plate. Conveyor belt there. Conveyor belt there. Now pay attention to which ones you have your conveyor belt set up and what you put in the boxes, because you're going to have to make sure you have the correct recipe selected. Otherwise it's not going to work. Alright, so we got this one set to leaves, this one set to wood. We'll put our leaves in here. Put our wood in the one up top. Those are going to start rolling. It's going to turn both those products into biomass. Now, one constructor will not do wood and leaves. That's why you have to have 2 with the proper recipe, you know, to get your 2 different products into the same outgoing or outbound product. Your biomass will come into here. Have we learned solid biomass? We have not. So we're a little preemptive. No big deal. Take this one out. Boom. Okay. You'll understand once you upgrade to solid biofuel. Basically, you'll have these 2 making biomass merging into another constructor that's going to make your solid biofuel. Solid biofuel has a very beautiful burn rate. It lasts a hot minute. So this is your initial setup. Okay, you got your plates. Oh, nope, we need to do the copper, because you do need wire for things. Basically the same setup like the plates in the bar. You're going to have your miner, smelter, constructor into a storage container. Okay, so one Mogian, miner. Did we face that wrong? Yeah, we faced that kind of in a bad spot. So start over. Turn it some more. Got the miner. Got the smelter. Get this guy out of the way. These guys are cool though. You can bounce on their backs, but obviously you got to jump on them from a ledge or a cliff or what have you. Get our constructor. Why are we not? There it is. All right, got our constructor into storage. Select a recipe, copper ingots on our smelter, excuse me. Select wire on our constructor. Okay. 60 out, 30 in, 30 out. 15 in, 30 out. So there's going to be a lot of splitting going on, and we'll cover that in another video. Now, next thing we need to do need to get some power going to these bad mamma jammas. Like to run these out as far as I can, save on materials. Is there a spot? There is. Beautiful. Tied that into the power grid. And they're off to the races up there as well. So we got our wire being made, we got our bar being made, plate and concrete. And we are currently using max consumption 56. That was initial startup for all of that up there. Capacity is 60. So we're getting to the point to where I would be wanting to put one, possibly two more biomass burners. We'll go ahead and put one here at the end. Now bear in mind, the more biomass burners you set, the more you're going to have to fuel them, okay? So keep a closer eye. See, like we're already down to 314 and that's empty. Until you move to solid biofuel, or better yet, coal power, you're going to be doing a lot of refueling. But that's the joys of it. So the main thing from this video, main takeaway, is your setup, okay? Find you a good starting location. I haven't unlocked the map yet, or I would show you where I'm at here. But find you a good starting location. Don't worry about the purity of the veins. It'll all work out, I promise you. That's where overclocking and underclocking is going to come into play. Plus how you set up with splitters and mergers and whatnot. Get your main base materials. Get your concrete in the back, plate, bar, and your wire. Okay, that's going to be the main things you need through tier 1 and 2. Once you move on to phase 2, which would be tier 3 and 4, that's when things get slightly more complicated. So, actually, I was wrong. Imagine that. So phase 2, parts assembly, you'll get the assemblers when you can start making reinforced plate, copper sheets, rotors, modular frames, all that good stuff. And this, so the smart plating is the very first thing that you're going to send off into your space station, space elevator, excuse me, when you get it built. That's where your assembler is going to come into play, rotors and all that other stuff. The next big thing, once you do base building, you can either go field research to get your map and the MAM, or I would recommend obstacle clearing for the chainsaw. That's also where you unlock solid biofuel, okay? When we finish base building, that's going to be our next move, is the obstacle clearing in tier 2, and then we'll move back over to tier 1. Tier 1. Finish off field research to get this, and then back to tier 2 to clear everything else out. So, but that's going to do it for this video, guys. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to move on into obstacle clearing and everything forward from there. We'll start putting splitters and mergers and show you guys really where the numbers come into play and how that's going to work out. If you guys like the video, make sure you like and subscribe, man. Stick around, stay tuned for more in-depth tutorial breakdown videos on how to get all your stuff properly set up. Have a good one.